Oh, I get Cap. I'm Austin. Fuck, dude, buddy. I am sweating
Yeah.
and not having a good time.
Why? What?
I'm not. I am
Oh,
concerned and
yeah.
worried and problematically watching these games. I woke up at 5 in the morning, which is an hour that normally does not exist on my calendar, to watch my friends play Dota. And first off, fuck WePlay, because I guess they changed the schedule in the middle of the night, so the game wasn't until 6, so I had to wake up an hour early and go back to bed. Fuck them. But I'm pretty sure that Liquid is actively in 8th place after only winning one game and losing
Yes.
5. And
Yes.
I am worried. I am
All
not.
right. So, to set the stage here, because this podcast is going to go out and the group stage will be either concluded or about to conclude. So you
Probably
guys will
about
have
to conclude.
information. Yeah, you guys will have information that we do not currently, but it is right now. It is the second day of groups. Second day of groups has yet to finish. There's still the last couple of games going on. Liquid versus LGD is about to happen. Liquid is currently sitting at a score of 1-5. They are very bottom, right next to Beast Coast, who is 2-6, and above them is TNC Predator, who is 3-3. Meanwhile, Evil
And
Geniuses
Team
and
Spirit,
Team Nigma and
Team Spirit
Vici
is 3 and
Gaming.
5. So
Oh yeah, okay. Team Spirit doesn't have that good of a record either. Meanwhile, EG, Nigma, and Vici Gaming all have 5 wins. Nigma only has 1 loss, while EG and Vici have 3. So that is where we're standing right now. So for anybody who's watching this and they're like, "What are they talking about? This is what happened." Like, we don't know yet when we're recording this podcast.
it's the
So
middle of the
right
day.
now,
Second day
Liquid
groups.
sucks and they're in trouble.
They have played arguably the 2 best teams in the group stage.
Oh,
lost all the games
have
to them.
they? Vici Gaming Enigma, you think those are the 2 toughest teams?
I think, dude, ILTW is looking pretty spicy right now. It looks like Nigma might have figured something out between group stages or before this event.
Yes. I believe the podcast that we did, I said that Nigma was going to be one of the teams that did not make it through the wild card. Because honestly, they've just been kind of
Meh.
mediocre for the last year, I would say. They didn't even impress me that much at the DPC this last season, where they again ended up in the wild card. So yeah, I did not think they were going to go through. I thought IG was going to be able to go through. It almost was that way, except for IG lost a game against AS Monaco Gambit, which allowed a tiebreaker to be able to happen. So I was almost right. Team Secret did end up sucking, which originally my prediction had them go through, but then they just kind of looked bad.
I do recall us talking about, like, I think that we both settled on Vici and Secret going through, but not being surprised if Secret also didn't go through. And that's what happened.
Okay.
And
My original prediction was Vici and Secret, and that was because IG had a stand-in. And then after the first day, I really thought IG was actually going to go through, because they looked pretty good. Even though they had a stand-in, they actually looked really solid. But then they lost a game against AS Monaco Gambit, who was already eliminated. At that time, they'd already been eliminated. There was no way they could make it through, and they still managed to take a game off of IG, and it forced a tiebreaker between them and Nigma, which resulted in obviously Nigma winning, and they're the ones who went through. And yeah, they have just been. They looked good in the wild card stage, and I feel like they're looking even better now in the group stage.
I think GH is playing like he hasn't played in 18 months.
Dude, Mind Control 2 is like hard carrying this team. ILTW, like Mind Control is being a beast right now. I think he's actually playing the best of anybody. But ILTW, it feels like he's actually clicking with this roster. Whereas before, I felt like he was actually more of a liability. Now he has been rock solid this whole event, or at least day 2 of wild card and day 1 and 2 of group stage. He has been really good for Nigma.
Yeah, Enigma's been looking super solid. I'm happy to have them impressing us. Like I think that it's cool, and I'm excited to see them play in form. They
I would be more disappointed to not have Nigma. Even before this whole like OG drama and stuff, I personally like Kuro's story more than OG's. Yeah, sure, like back-to-back TI champs and that sort of thing. It'd be shame not to have the reigning champs at TI. But for whatever, I just like Nigma as a story, as a whole. Their players, their captain, like all across the board, I just like them more. So I would be excited to see them get their shot, get their invite to TI based off of the performance at this major.
if OG doesn't make it to TI, which I'm assuming they're not going to at this point, does No-Tail still have to put the Aegis back on the pedestal?
Yeah.
Do they fly him out there for that?
When did a TI champ, because Valve always reinvited the TI champs no matter what, and then
I think this is the first time it
we
wouldn't
got
happen.
into
We should fact check
Yeah.
that. Someone's gonna fact check that and be like, "Well, actually, Joey." But I mean,
well, a team just Wings
Wings?
ended up disbanding right before TI 8.
yes.
So like they disbanded shortly after their TI win, right? So or after TI 6.
Dude.
And then it was OG. Yeah, I think this might be the first time that the reigning champs, still as a squad or almost a full team, would not make it.
That's some ESPN stat. There's like some weaving to get to that conclusion, but yes, and I want to see Seb put the Aegis on the pedestal and then walk over to the commentary desk and be like, "Hey guys, what's up?" Man, Nigma right now looking super hot. I think that we were talking about how the Singapore major was Dota that was played really fast, and it looks like this major is Dota that's played potentially even faster, and it looks like Holy Locket is a good item.
Yeah, Holy Locket's a good item. I've been on that train. I've been playing Train Protector and building Holy Locket first item in all my games. And yeah, I'm with it. I think if Winter Wyvern's good, Holy Locket is really good on that hero. Phoenix potentially. I wasn't surprised to see Phoenix picked up just because I knew Mars was going to be a big hero here, so naturally they kind of pair up together. Kuro currently has a Holy Locket on Enchantress right now, so yeah, any of these healing heroes, Holy Locket feels even better than it already kind of is. I'm not sure if you can actually pick up that item without doing heals, but
like the healing,
a lot of healers.
the healing
insane.
benefit it gave to like Wisp when Io was tethering to someone. It looked to me like the Wisp ate a cheese, but there was no cheese.
I think I literally did play-by-play of a fight where we lost sight of GH and I saw him again and I assumed that he had eaten a cheese. I think I called out that he ate the cheese.
But there was no cheese.
And I think there might not have been cheese. I may have lost track of what Roshan we were on at the time. So yeah, I think I called out that he ate a cheese and he just didn't he didn't have one. It was just insane. He went from like 20% HP to full in the course of like the 1 second that he wasn't on my screen. So wild stuff.
Anywho, this major, I know that we're like, we're into wild cards and half a day of groups, day 2, but like pretty solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
The wild card was very competitive. AS Monaco Gambit took 3 draws against teams, and they were obviously going to be the weakest team because they had 2 stand-ins after, their team kind of got broken up by Seneko and no one leaving. So they were the weakest team by far, and they took 3 draws. And I think that says a lot. The wild card as a whole was super exciting. Group stage after day 1, every single team had tied. There isn't a single team that has only had losses. Liquid is almost there. But as you said, I think they probably have faced the toughest teams. Evil Geniuses is definitely in pretty good form. Nigma and Vici Gaming are both coming for the wild card. So, of course, they're going to do good. That is not surprising at all. So,
No, it's really good as long as you're not a Liquid fan like me and currently just sweating bullets and being like, well, okay, the best is yet to come. There's
Did you see our intro, by the way? It says, so you watched the series. Did you watch Kyle and I's intro to that?
refresh me.
They were talking about a split decision on the panel, whatever, and just on like I heard that and whatever reason, I just improv'd it. I was like, well, we don't have a split decision here on the casting desk. Is to prove it, we'll go ahead and say on three what team we think is going to win this series, and I did a 1, 2, 3, and then we both ended up saying Nigma. It was actually perfectly in sync. I could not have. I didn't plan that at all. That just happened to work out really well.
Man, I'm actually I have the stream up in the background and I'm watching your One Piece Man intro right now. So you and Kyle back at it again. Man, the intro of with all of the talent, which I think is actually pretty fun as a recurring content piece because the music actually helps it a lot. I love
Made by Odie Pixel, by the way. Owen actually made that music. Of course, the lyrics is sang by somebody they hired on Fiverr. The guy also wrote the lyrics. But yeah, like Owen composed that music. Just really cool stuff. I think
he's so good at his job that we know him for that you forget that he's also like a classically trained musician.
yeah, exactly. I think from what I heard from Cheever, he was actually more excited about making the music than he was about anything involving the tournament in casting, anything like that.
It's probably been a minute since he's done it.
Yeah. I think he needs that bit of encouragement because he's very harsh on himself about creating music. So, yeah,
I think it's a good quality. I think it's just generally a good quality to have as long as it doesn't go too overboard. I was making a point, but I'm mildly distracted. Oh, the intro is good. It's a good recurring content piece. My favorite part about the intro is, were you around when they were filming Jenkins?
No, they called us in 2x2, I think, to record that whole thing.
Gotcha.
We had to they dressed us up, did makeup, and then we had a photo shoot, and then we did a bit of video, which is where the intro comes from.
So I don't know how many takes Jenkins did of the Pulp Fiction thing that he was recreating, but if you pay attention, he breaks. And he breaks, and you can see him trying so hard to keep a straight face and not conceal a smile, and it's very subtle. But when I saw that, the fucking funniest thing to me wasn't the meme he was doing, wasn't the rest of the video. It's the fact that Jenkins didn't keep it together and was just like making himself laugh. I had so much fun watching that.
Yeah, no, I know. I notice it too every time. The slight smile he gets. I think it starts off, he does pretty good with a straight face, but then as it goes on,
he turns back and he goes.
Yeah, yeah, just a slight little grin starts popping out.
It's an audio podcast. No one can see unless they're watching on YouTube my face doing that motion. It's been interesting because I feel like we've gotten the full package, and we've also gotten just so much clear investment and willing to pivot from WePlay that it's been interesting, right? Like, what were people's concerns about the major, group stage day one? It's the observing. People are upset about the observers. What do? Fucking, hey JJ, here's a bag of money. Can you come help us? Cool. Okay.
Hired script too for the other stream as well.
Their fucking graphics are good. Their set is obviously phenomenal. They're spending time doing hair and makeup for everybody. Like, I like that everyone is kind of in one room together. It's really cool to me that sometimes you can hear the other stream and the other casters pop off. They've already created like this really rad experience, and I mean, I know that we expect a lot from WePlay at this point because they seem to knock it out of the park, but I would go as far as to say that this is the best thing they've done.
Yeah, WePlay's definitely trying to make a statement with this. So the Animajor is, I think, certainly a mastercraft of broadcasting for esports. everything that they've done has been almost everything they've done has been really, really good. Which is why it's a shame that it's happening like during COVID and stuff like that. Like, just think how much better it would be if we could
WePlay's
get.
never done an event not in COVID, right? Like, have they done an event with a live audience? That was
No, they did. I remember they did the Mad Moon. They
was there an
did
audience there?
that one. Yeah, maybe not an audience, but there was for Bukavel, the miner. The
Okay.
miner that was up in the mountains, right? And that the whole winter theme that they had going on.
Hmm.
So that one had an audience, albeit not a very large one. Mad Moon, yeah, I don't really know. I don't remember. They might have for the last 2 days or something. I'm not sure.
So I know one thing that some people are a little less than excited about WePlay for is
Hmm.
for some reason their schedule isn't set for the games and the broadcast times. Do you have any insight into this or insight you can share? I know that I saw people on Twitter just complaining from the team side of like, hey, why are they switching match times 16 hours before the matches and making me like wake up at different times or change the order the teams
So
are playing? Like that seems a little odd to me.
So I know one thing was that Valve, there is a little bit of back and forth as far as I understand between WePlay and Valve when it comes to the scheduling of matches. We'll talk about that specific in a second, but there was a situation where I think they specifically did not release the group stage day one schedule at all until the wild card was done because Valve did not want the teams that are already in the group stage to have a competitive advantage over the wild card teams who are still playing. Basically, they wanted teams to have the same amount of time to prepare for their upcoming match as everybody
That
else
seems
in a
fine to me.
way.
I don't have any
Um,
complaints with that.
yeah, and then as I don't know exactly what happened with today's schedule and why that changed, but I do know today was supposed to be 5 series, and they cut
Hmm.
it down to 4. So I believe I know WePlay is trying to make people happy. They're just trying to make everybody happy, seemingly everybody happy. But well, never mind. They're trying to make everybody happy. So I don't know if they cut it down from 5 series because teams didn't want to be. I know there was like 1 or 2 teams that would have to play 3 series in one day. So I don't know if that complaint, if they were so adamant about that complaint that we play back down from having 5 series in one day and went to 4, which therefore changes the schedule in some regard. I don't know.
What I
I
remember looking at
I do know is
Wikipedia.
they're trying to make everyone happy, and obviously all the teams have different preferences. Some teams want to be able to play back-to-back games. Some teams don't want to do that absolutely at all. As just one example of preferences.
I remember looking at Wikipedia, and I think the case was originally that day 3 and 4 of groups there was only one stream, but now day 3 of groups has 2 streams again.
Yeah, yeah,
So to accommodate for less games per day. So
yeah,
like that
yeah.
that could be cool. Having to switch it up when you do switches like that, kind of last minute. I think that they actually changed the schedule. They gave 3 different schedules. They changed the schedule twice at the end of the day yesterday, as they were like actively rearranging stuff at night. I heard that from the team side, and I know that you can't do that without someone getting a little bit of a shitty end of the stick.
Uh-huh.
So, what do you think about like Beast Coast complaints that I saw on Twitter from Colin that were the chief complaint was Beast Coast had to play an hour earlier than originally anticipated, and their games that they had their opponents were swapped.
I think it's honestly, you want my full fucking opinion? I think that's fucking whatever, man. Like, it's not like they had to play a new opponent that they weren't supposed to play that day or something. Like, they knew both of their opponents. They are going to prepare for both of those opponents. I assume they were playing back to back on the previous schedule as well. So it's not like you were going to have a huge amount of time where it's like you're only going to prepare for this one opponent and then you have a bunch of time to prepare for the other one. If that was the situation, maybe the grievance has a little bit more. But like, honestly, I I think it's whatever. But then again, I'm not a player. I'm not under that stress. But I just know that, like, in general, teams and players have so many complaints that you try and accommodate everything you can. But sometimes I actually think what I truthfully, what I really feel is I actually feel like too many tournament organizers bend over backwards trying to accommodate teams and players and their complaints,
That
whether it's on the admin side or the player management side. It's a very fucking privileged
that makes
position that we're in.
That makes sense because ultimately the events are nothing if they don't have the right teams come, right? So you kind of need to bend a little bit of a knee, but also, what is that line between catering to teams, doing what they wish, making them happy, but also having, a firm stance as the person who is organizing the event. There
Yeah.
is a line to be towed. And again, with the shifting schedule, some people get a little messed up, and I think that I do have a mild amount of empathy for a situation like Beast Coast where they're like, oh, well, this kind of changes how we would have prepared. Like, I'm sure it does. Is it majorly impactful? Maybe for them it is, and that's why they feel grieved about it. But, like, they were
But
going to play both
ultimately,
teams. They were going to play both teams
yeah,
anyways.
and ultimately, it's a land. Like, fucking, you can't find a banana for breakfast, and that may affect how you end up performing. Like, there's always going to be something that happens in a LAN environment. The test of truly good teams is being able to overcome the little hiccups that happen. Right, your chair isn't able to actually get at a height where you're able to get maybe the arm part to be able to be totally flush with the desk. That's an example of something that, like, really annoys me when I don't have that, right? I don't have it here in this current hotel setup. That's why I'm speaking of it. And but, like, like, those little things can affect you, but the mark of a truly great professional player is being able to overcome these minor adversities and being able to perform anyway. I mean, I remember, like, S4 sitting on some sort of fucking metal chair, fucking feverish as hell because he got the flu in China, wrapped up in blankets and shit and still playing. Like, I remember, like, that is a mark of, like, a truly, somebody who is going above and beyond and being able to perform still. So whenever, these sort of things, like, a slight schedule change or something like that, I don't have that much sympathy for, because shit happens at LAN events. That's just the way it kind of goes. So
I'm mildly watching this liquid draft that's going on, so I'm trying to pay as much attention to you. But they also just third picked Druid for Koikfa, and they grabbed a Pug.
oh no.
And LGD's playing Dro Slardar, so, like, oh god, this is when you really need to win a game. Yeah, lone Druid.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, just remember Nigma, if they do well enough here,
Yes,
are going to get directly invited to
I
DI.
want
And
Nigma
that
to
just
win the
leaves
fucking
you,
event. Nigma needs to win
Liquid
the
versus
event.
OG in TI qualifiers. And again, you guys have lost literally 5 games in total out of, like, 30 plus against OG. And you've only lost 1 series. So if it comes down to those two,
Viking GG scares me more than Nigma does in those qualifiers. Than OG does.
or
I'm gonna
OG.
be really honest. Okay. I'm gonna try not to pay attention to that. Speaking of people being grieved in WePlay, I mean, the thing that, if we were doing a podcast in the middle of last week, that we would have been talking about is, holy shit, this remake situation. But I feel like because of the way the games after it played out, because Nigma ended up winning, because Nigma did make it into the group stage, it's less of a thing. I think if Nigma lost and was not in group stage right now, people would still be, this would be like a big meme. But right now, I think everyone got a little bit lucky that it's blown over and we don't have to worry about it as much. That being said, still a bit of a fucked up situation.
You have no idea how fucking relieved WePlay was, right? Because ultimately there was very little control they had over the situation, right? server fuck up. Okay, that's not on WePlay. That's on the Valve side. Valve is ultimately the one making the decision because WePlay sort of like asked Valve like what the decision should be,
I think that's
and
good. They
so
should kick the decision to Valve.
yes, hands up. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with this. Um, and so they did pass it off to Valve, and Valve ended up deciding to remake same items, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to know more about that, you can look it up, I'm sure. But yeah, they had to remake a game that Nigma was probably. I asked Cinderin. Cinderin said 3-1 that Nigma was going to win that game. But the analysts very heavily liked the draft of Team Secret, and in a way that ended up proving out to be true because on the remake, Secret just ended up slaughtering Nigma, basically off of like one team fight that last time went the way of Nigma. On the second game, on the remake game, it went the way of Team Secret, and then they never gave up control of the game for the rest of the time. And everything about the analysts that they said about the draft ended up working. It ended up being true in the second game rather than the first one. So it was a draft advantage, most likely, for Team Secret, but they didn't execute well enough and ended up almost losing the original game before a remake came in. So yeah, that was like a very stressful situation. WePlay was so relieved because not only the controversy then is easily forgotten because okay, Nigma made it in anyway, but also Nigma, the most popular Western team without a doubt. Mm-hmm. Numbers are so much higher when Nigma is playing than any other team. Not OG, not the two-time TI winners, not Team Secret, one of the most dominant lineups that has ever been seen. Fucking Nigma is so important for tournament viewing numbers.
Do you think Valve reassesses their internal rulebook after this incident?
Probably. I mean, the fact is that like it probably should have like so adminning, right? You usually want hard rules, but at the same time you do want to be flexible. So in this situation, right, Nigma was clearly winning. So yeah, it's easy to say, well, they should be given the option of what do they want? Do they want a full remake or do they want, remake with same draft, same items? But you like it's easy to say that in that situation, but what if the game was a lot more even than 3-1 odds? What if it was just straight up a 45-55? Who do you ask? Like, hey, we feel like you guys were winning by 5%, so we're gonna ask you, do you want the full remake? Or in that regard, I'm not sure how much Valve can really take from that. I personally think you should usually trend towards a full remake, but I can see the argument of why.
What are the downsides to not a full remake every time that this happens?
The downside is that you lose a lot of strategic value that a team. So imagine if it was the opposite situation, totally opposite, right? Let's imagine that Team Secret was winning that game because they had the superior draft. They outdrafted Nigma, and they were winning as a result of that. A remake has to happen, and Valve makes the rule where they do a full remake and a totally separate draft. Well, that's also terribly unfair, right? Because you won that chess match, and now you're going to have to play another chess match in which maybe you revealed something that was going to be like a really big,
hidden,
like you did something in the draft. Yeah, maybe it was a cheese hero, or maybe it was like an opening that like the enemy team wasn't expecting, so they ended up getting lost. Maybe it was one hero that was versatile that you ended up moving into a different position. There's tons and tons of reasons and ways for a draft advantage to be gained, right? So in that exact opposite scenario, you would agree, right? That would be terribly unfair.
Yes, that would be not great for the person who had the draft advantage.
Yeah, so that goes to show why like a full remake would not be good necessarily. So
what if you could resume
I don't know
from the replay?
What if? What if we had a reload feature? What if we had that sort of thing? Yeah,
Probably the
don't know.
optimum situation,
Yeah.
but you know.
Also, for people who say, "Why don't we ever play on LAN?" Well, I think you have to. I think Valve specifically doesn't have the LAN thing because that's how all of the Dota TV and everything else is connected. I have no clue, but I'm just going to assume that is it's important for it to be on a server. So
Yeah, I think that changed a little bit. I think that Dota TV actually behind the scenes became more functionable for offsite tournament organizers in COVID time, and actually helped some stuff out in terms of remote production.
mhm.
But that hasn't necessarily fixed stuff for the teams. Man, Sumail is playing Pugna right now. That's fun. Oh my god.
You really are nervous. This is hilarious.
Anywho, just gonna shake this off. I've heard other things coming out of WePlay. Was there some rumblings that Slacks, who has been dressed the night, Slacks, by the way, Jake, who's not listening to this, big kudos for losing like at least 50 pounds. Guy looks like, I don't know if he's like at the end of his journey or if like he's committed to more, but like big kudos to you, dude.
He is committed to more. I'm pretty sure.
He is one set of hair plugs away from being a real snack.
Yeah.
They're not called hair plugs anymore. They're called hair transplants. I would know because I've done a lot of research on it for no particular reason. Anywho, you know, he's doing these interviews. He's having fun. He's dressed to the nines in a hazmat suit, which I think is a little bit trite, given that you know, we're at the tail end of COVID now, but still a little bit funny. Still part of the times, right? Like I think it's a good bit. But
He put a mask on the microphone. Yeah.
which is the funny thing to do, right?
Yeah.
He walked outside the venue and people got upset about it. Is that true?
Okay,
I've only heard rumors about this.
So what ended up happening here is apparently some of the teams had a complaint about a Twitter picture that went out from Suns fan. So the venue, we went to the venue to see the venue because that's what every tournament organizer wants you to do when it comes to rehearsals. They're like, we'll show you everything. And of course, me being a caster, I'm sitting there going like, what are you going to show me where the headset is? Like, what? I don't need anything. Why do I have to be here? But you know, then they also have actual rehearsals where the talent sit down and stuff. They actually didn't do those rehearsals. They ended up doing it the next day with only the people who would be required for the very first day. They were actually really good about it. They let us. They realized they weren't ready and let us go. I've had other tournament organizers be like, "Sorry guys, we're not ready." And then we wait 5 hours there.
They're like, well, we are paying
just waiting to do rehearsals. So. Yeah, exactly.
You are getting paid, so I mean, you know,
that.
you can sit there.
Yeah. So yeah, we ended up going to the venue, and the venue right outside of the venue, it's like in this center area where there's like a lot of Ukraine, Kyiv monuments and like maybe some government buildings or something like that, and just outside of the venue, like literally on the stairs, like just off of the stairs that go up into the venue, which is entirely WePlay's building, I believe, or something. Suns fan goes, Slacks, I'm gonna take a romantic picture of you in front of all of this, and then you know Slack stands there, and you know with his ugly face, he makes this ugly face and stuff, and so that went out on social media, and of course in the background you could see there's some people there. They're obviously like 30-40 feet away from him, maybe even more, but there is people. It just looks like you're in a public area, and of course some teams saw that and were like, what the fuck you guys doing? Like, you guys are breaking the bubble and shit like that. And it's a kind of a misunderstanding. But it does go to show that there's definitely been very different team receptions to the COVID safety rules here for this tournament.
Which we hypothesized and has to be a little bit home region based, right? Like, I'm assuming that's where it's coming from. If I had to guess, I'd say, like, you know, Quincy Crew is probably cares a lot more about it than, I don't know, Spirit.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say that anyone from the Eastern European region probably cares a bit less because that their norm for them and where they're living is people just go around without masks and stuff. So obviously they don't really care. Same goes with Sweden, where obviously you guys have heard me complain about that many times. So Ukraine's the exact way. Nobody wears masks. So, just straight up region difference, right? Ukraine versus Singapore, and just the places that they're at. The country is treating it very, very differently. So WePlay, I think, has done a pretty good job. In all honesty, I would tell you guys if I felt unsafe. I would tell you if I feel fantastic, and I'm just gonna be honest here. I feel pretty good. Even if I wasn't vaccinated, this is a risk that I am willing to accept. There were things that maybe could have been a little bit safer, but honestly, I feel like I am content anyway. As somebody who kind of like needs to go to these places to make money, it's acceptable. I think it's pretty acceptable. Other teams feel like it's not good enough in comparison to Singapore, because Singapore was in a country that was very tight. Very locked down. And just being in Ukraine is unfortunate from their perspective. And then, so they want things even tighter. And then other teams are complaining like, but why do we have to get a COVID test once a week or twice a week? I don't know what the rules are.
The nose swab went too far in my nose.
The nose swab goes too far up our nose. Like you don't really need to go that far up.
Shut up.
And stuff like that. It's just, and so it's funny how like teams, both sides are complaining about this one thing, but they're very polar opposite views.
Non sequitur for no particular reason at all that I have this question coming to mind right now. Mm-hmm. Does Pugno Life Drain tick fast enough to hurt TA refraction?
It burns through refraction. If that are you go through refraction? No.
No. But like, how quick does Life Drain tick?
I don't know, but it burns through refraction pretty quickly.
Okay, yeah.
But that's totally random, right?
That's totally. I've been thinking about Pugna a lot recently, and it's just
in the brain.
I really like green hero. It's my favorite color.
It drains in 0.25 second intervals, so quarter of a second.
So
after a quarter of a second of you start casting, it starts doing damage. So in 1 second, it will do 4 ticks of refraction. It will burn through 4 ticks.
Gotcha. And how many ticks is refraction?
I believe it's 7.
Oh man, what a home!
Out, so
with the talent.
Yeah, I think so. I should probably know this, seeing as Templar Assassin is easily one of the most popular heroes. Damn it, it's only 6. I was thinking of 7 because it's +7 when you get to level 25 talent, so it goes up to it's +8.
So it goes up to 14. Yeah.
I was thinking it was 7 and 7 split.
Thinking about Pugna for no particular reason. Dude, TA seems wild with the is it the shard of the Ags that makes you all teleporty?
The Aghanims is what teleports you. The shard is what makes the trap silence you.
Dude, fucking the Ags feels wild on TA. That's so much mobility. Much mobility.
1 second. Only takes 1 second for you to disappear. And it goes through ensnares too. You have to be stunned or silenced to stop that. If you're ensnared, you can still teleport.
Make roots stop teleport, or make it like 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds. It goes so quick. I don't know why.
They do though. They stop teleport scroll. They stop you from blinking. So why would it not work for TA trap? That's the fucking weirdest thing.
Fucking Dota, man. I don't know why I'm thinking about this. It's just weird. Just a pop quiz. TA, crazy hero right now. I think we're gonna see a lot of TA at this major. We already have. I think we're gonna see more of it continually. Feels like a good hero.
Let me just say, just real quickly, going back to the whole remake situation, I had a absolute ball, and I think some of the other talent did as well. Reading through all the new threads that came out, there were so many people who are so mad because they were all betting on the game and they lost their money in a game that they felt like they should have won money in. And so their Reddit threads just filled up with, this is a scam tournament. I lost $2,000. There was one guy who was like, I lost my life savings.
Your life savings? Oh, you're doing something wrong.
Gamble your life savings. Like, what are you, stupid? Jesus.
God, yeah, that is. They have to remake.
And if anything, that should prove to you they remaked, and there was 2 very different outcomes. One in which Nigma very likely would have won, and the other in which Secret dominated. And it was the same draft. That by itself should tell you. You can't just be like, oh, I'm good at Dota. I know drafts. I know who's gonna win. every draft can win. Like, you guys are dumb if you're mad about losing money in gambling. I personally enjoy gambling, and I personally enjoy gambling because I let that money go once I gamble it. If I lose it, I've lost it. I don't care. If I make money off of that, that's fantastic. But like, this is you
But
should not be
gambling is more
using
fun
this
when
as
you win.
any term of investment.
It's more fun when you win.
It is.
I've
I've had a lot of fun losing money, though.
I lost my life savings person. I was like, well, this is pretty funny. That was a very chaotic day on Reddit. The reason sometimes when stuff like that happens and you go on Reddit and you click on new and you realize that there's only like 3 posts in the last 30 minutes, that's because all the posts are auto removed until they get manually approved. Because what you don't see is the queue of, I think there was about 400 to 500 posts that were all just the same thing of, fucking scam, fucking remake, fuck WePlay, fuck Valve,
I
fuck
saw
Enigma.
the people definitely. I saw the same person or people. There was a couple different ones, and they were commenting in literally every single thread. It was like they were almost copy pasting the same remark in every single one of those threads. Oh my God. I'm going to laugh at you and I'm not going to feel bad about it at all. I think it's hilarious.
Man.
Fun times. Yeah. This tournament has been wild. It's had some drama.
We haven't even seen the main stage yet.
We haven't even seen the main stage yet, which is going to be super hype. And what's funny about this is this was not the drama that the town was worried about.
What was the drama that the talent was worried about?
The drama that the talent was worried about was cultural appropriation. Right? It's a hot term right now.
I think that we touched on that a little bit. We're like, oh, well,
Yes.
You guys are all in kimonos. I wonder who is and isn't going to like this.
Yes. And that is something that was definitely like, that's what we were worried about. And all of a sudden there was just complaints about literally everything else. So yeah, I just think that's, there hasn't been a big threat about that yet. I hope it's because people recognize that like if you do feel wronged about cultural appropriation, feel like some of these things are maybe out of place or something, that it's not any ill will. Just speaking from, like seeing the WePlay people and stuff, I don't believe they're ever could possibly be. They're just trying to make a hype major that's based around anime. And
do you know
there's only so many things you could do with anime when copyright is a thing. I wanted to be able to do a blue arrow for Avatar. I wanted to be Aang, and apparently we can't do that. That's too close. That's too close to the line.
That makes sense, though. I don't buy for a fucking second that anyone's going to do copyright law in Ukraine. Maybe because WePay clearly has a fuck ton of money, someone might try it. But like, that feels like a problem in America that probably doesn't exist in Ukraine. But I
think it's more so the fact that WePlay already got a hit in the FGC side of things, or the developers pulling out, so they don't want like Valve being upset about anything and being like, whoa, that's too close to a certain line or anything. Like, ultimately, they're just...
The arrow would be really cool, though. That's a good idea.
I know, right?
I told Tsunami they should make his eyebrows into waves.
Oh, okay. Ellie did a kawaii boy blush on me the other day. She actually did my makeup. It was very cute. It didn't show up on camera very well, but I did get a good picture
softly.
of it.
It did softly. I noticed it. So, but yeah, it could have been a little more pronounced. Do you know if WePlay either talked to or had anyone who is Japanese help with the development of this?
I have no clue.
Because
I don't know.
Generally, when I am dealing with production stuff in this current age, there's not a team fight going on. I'm not distracted. Sumail's dead. Monkey King's dead. This is not bad if they don't take Roshan. Oh, they took Roshan. Okay, never mind. Anywho. I'm sorry. I'm incredibly dating this podcast right now. I'm timestamping it actually. When I am worried about something like a cultural appropriation or anything that could be uncouth in any way, shape, or form. I just generally the go-to is to have people who are experienced and from that walk of life consult on it. And
Yeah.
I suspect that WePlay did something like that because what they're doing isn't tasteless. And I think there's a difference when like you're talking about cultural appropriation. There's obviously a gradient of it of like, so paying homage to something is not necessarily cultural appropriation. Making fun of
it's a
something,
weird line.
making
Yeah.
fun of something is. And currently WePlay and what they're doing feels very tasteful, and it doesn't feel like what my brain goes to, and I think this is because I have a lot of friends who are Mexican and also I live in Los Angeles, is that like, I should not be walking around the street, let alone doing something on set where I'm wearing a sombrero and shaking maracas, right?
Yeah.
You are not wearing wooden shoes, even though you are wearing kimonos, and then like eating sushi and doing things that would be like considered offensive. Really, right now you're just using like a costume as an aesthetic. And that doesn't feel bad, but I could definitely understand why someone would still be sensitive to it. So it feels like it's in this balloon of a gray area, but it feels like it's on the very mild side to me. But if anyone would come to me and tell me, I don't think that's really cool, I would be like, okay, your opinion's probably fair and valid.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. The one thing about the set that I learned is that some of it. So part of the bit of concern. Oh, also I want to say one thing: the talent has shut some things down. We're like, no, that's
Good on
not
you
a
guys.
good one.
Hell yeah, good on you.
But I would say the set and some of the things that you see in the background. So there were some things that Ellie especially pointed out to me. She was like, "That's not actually Japanese or anime at all. That's Chinese." And apparently they're reusing some of the set from the Dragon Temple tournament that they did for Mortal Kombat, which obviously is Chinese set. So
Good way to say
yeah. Good, yeah. So in a way, they're saving money, but then again, it does become this weird bleed where like, well, Chinese isn't the same as Japanese, and that's kind of like weird, like, oh dear. But nobody has really made that complaint, so it's so far, yeah. I mean, I mostly just hope this major is mostly drama free because I feel like
it's already drama filled with Enigma stuff.
Well,
like
yes, well, but drama based off of the games, not drama based off of like potential COVID situations. That would obviously be terrible. Anything like people feel like the event needs to be canceled or anything like that. Not just because I'm in it, but just because I know WePlay is just like trying really hard for this, and they really want it to be a really good tournament for not just the players but the fans as well. So
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Austin, you're the best immersed versatile caster ever. So how can there be drama? There's only praise. Like, have you looked at Reddit?
There has been a lot of praise going out around for a lot of people. Apparently, Effie's doing a good job. People are happy with her. People are very happy with Jenkins as he is quickly becoming beloved. Suns fan is here, and Suns fans with Syndrin. That's been a great duo. So people are happy with that. Gareth even got a shout-out thread at some point in time, which he has been, in my opinion, criminally underrated. For whatever reason, people just really don't take to him, but he even has gotten a bit of love.
Is that because there's like he's like people are just apathetic towards him? Because I think that he never really stands out in my mind. I've talked to him many times in person. Like, he's actually as with almost basically everybody, everyone's so cool and so rad and so down to earth. I don't know how he hasn't gotten like more opportunities because he's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
He's done things at like a moderately high level for a long time, but he's always kind of left out of the conversation when we see people like rise and fall, right? It feels like people just forget about him almost.
Yes. I think there's like, he joined Dota, and it was like Toby, Cap, and Blitz, and then like he was like the third person, and we've just joined Dota group. There wasn't enough room for like a third person to really shine so much. So like already starting there, not going to feel amazing. And then, like he gets shit on like everybody does when they first join Dota, because it's just, I don't know, the way it goes. Because, when I joined, I wasn't Toby, so therefore I needed to be flamed as much as possible. And then with Garrett joins, he's not Cap and Blitz, and he's not Toby, so he also deserves to be flamed horrifically. And yeah, like I actually feel like when I've listened to him lately, he's come into his own a little bit more. I almost feel like he's more comfortable with casting. Technically, he's been, I think, pretty proficient for a long time. I think, to be honest, like I feel like there's just like if he had like 10% more charisma, if he was like 10% more personable, and people could relate to him more. But I feel like he is just in some ways he's proficient and does the job, and but people aren't really drawn to him, which is a shame. It's I wish people, because I like Gary. I think he's a swell guy. My time with him has always been enjoyable. So it's I would like to see him succeed more, but for whatever reason he just hasn't. Maybe this will be a good opportunity for him, though. We'll see.
I hope so.
So.
I
Yes.
truly.
But yeah, then I got a very nice thread about me today, and I am just quite chuffed about it because it is a thread that somebody put in a lot of time and effort into. They analyzed my casting, and it was very nice. I was very happy. I don't care if that blows up at all, but that was one of the nicest threads I've ever read. So very, very happy to know that I am still getting better as a caster.
Confidence boost, man. You gotta go crush the rest of the major.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. These sort of things.
Well, you got
come
Kyle
late.
as an albatross around your neck, right? So I just did the thing that I just did the thing that I've been criticizing people for doing for like fucking a month. God damn it.
Kyle's done a pretty good job of making sure to shake off the fact that he's under all this pressure and responsibility of being a part of the tournament organizer while also being talent. So that's gone all right. I did some casts with BSJ. That went pretty well. I think BSJ isn't a big. BSJ is definitely better on a panel, but he's learning how to be a better caster. And then tomorrow, I believe I'm gonna do a cast with AY. He asked me today when we were at dinner, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Because obviously, I think I shine pretty well when I'm with somebody who like really understands the game, because I understand the game pretty well, so I can ask really good questions. I think I can get a lot out of a really good expert. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. I think it's in many ways I felt more pressure for this tournament because Owen's not here. That naturally it probably falls on me that I'm gonna have to do grand finals. Not necessarily looking forward to it, but it's either me or Suns fan Syndrome. I'm okay if they do it, believe me. But
Dude, Carpe
I,
Diem,
I, I
man.
want to be able to elevate my game enough that people aren't like sorely missing out on the OD fogged combo, which is still here, but it's remote and very likely won't be doing a whole lot of playoff work. So
Dude, Carpe Diem, man. You take that brass ring and you hold on to it for a little bit.
what does that mean?
Seize the day, Carpe Diem.
No. Brass ring.
Brass ring. I've always used it I've always heard it in the context of like the reaching for success, which is a weird analogy here because you're already successful, right? But like,
Sure.
I think the brass ring is like the prize or success, and when you're reaching up for it, and to grab it as like people who really seize opportunities that are given to them.
Usually there are a larger number of iron rings and one brass one, or just a few. So apparently that is, yeah, seizing the
like
singular
brass rings and what?
opportunity amongst.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, like what's the etymology of that? If you're looking it up right now, like where does that come from?
A brass ring is a small grabbable
Greek?
ring that a dispenser presents to a carousel rider during the course of a ride. So apparently it takes dexterity to grab a ring from the dispenser as the carousel rotates.
Huh. So then is that like a horse racing thing?
No, I think it's like literally like the carnival ride carousel.
Oh.
Yeah. I feel like this is definitely something that is older than, because I've never seen this before. Yes, rider of the Flying Horses Carousel reaches for the brass ring.
Huh.
Yeah.
What a weird analogy that I've never actually looked up why it makes any sense.
Yes, 1880 to 1921 was when those things were popular. So yeah, it's been a while.
Fuck, I'm an old
It's
man.
been a
It's been a while. Dude, I think I'm gonna leave you because I've only gotten actively more sweaty as we've been recording and watching.
Has Liquid won or lost yet?
No, they still
But
have.
they're down by 6K.
They're down by 6K, and I think that it's really hard for Sumail at this point in the game to be able to do something with the Pugna. And we're really relying on Mickey to be able to kind of pop with this Monkey King. I think that Koikfa isn't like necessarily having the impact. And Saini's been great on AA. And Taiga is. I really like Liquid's drafts when they do early Tiny. I think it's one of their better flex heroes because they could play it in basically 3 roles. Even though I think that Taiga is the best on it, but we've seen Sumail do it too.
Yeah, this group stage is gonna be tight. Ooh, scary stuff. I would not want to be a team on the lower half of this current setup.
Any team that you're playing is like icky. It's like, oh man, EG, Vici, LGD.
My dark horse of the tournament is doing all right for themselves. Team Spirit took a game off of both the LGD, EG, and Vici Gaming, and they only lost 2-0 to Nigma. So they have to fight Beast Coast, TNC, and Liquid, who are all on. Those are the 3 current teams with the worst records. So I feel like my dark horse pick is sort of paying off. They actually show legit potential. It's so obvious that inexperience is what is costing them some games. They should have actually probably had a good chance of 2-0ing Vici, but they lost a game because of inexperience, I think.
Well, Liquid's gonna lose this game. I'm pretty sure at this point. This Aegis should probably finish the game off. I don't know if this MK ult does anything.
Sad.
They can't get on top of anybody.
Well, maybe LGD's the 4th best team. And
I think that they as with the side of Beast Coast, they've played really the best teams in the group stage. LGD, Vici, China, woof, Nigma. Oh God.
Sure.
So my coping mechanism is that Nigma is doing so well, they're going to secure themselves a TI spot off of this event by like making it to grand finals, and then we only have to win the TI qualifiers.
Yes, you only have to beat Viking GG and Tundra and OG and any other European team that decides to look good and stand up.
Hey man, if TA is good, then Brame is super scary.
Yeah, Brame, Hellbear Smashers, Level Up. a lot of teams. Hey, you start in the upper bracket though. Remember that for the TI qualifiers, you start in the upper bracket. So good sign there.
It'll probably be the first seed. Liquid will be the first seed, and if Nigma get qualified.
Yeah, so. Yeah, you will be. So.
Whew. Okay, I'm gonna go cross myself and find some holy water, and I'm going to get off this call, get on the exercise bike.
Exercising a bad luck demon that's following you in Liquid? What?
I don't know, man. I'm just. Whew. You know what I'm thinking? This is painful right now, but we are potentially making like a full like near documentary length piece, I think, if everything goes right. And the best possible story that could happen is having a really shit major and then a qualifier that you win and then a good TI story. That is a story arc which you need for engaging media. So maybe the boys are just telling me make a good piece of content.
Or it could be a really terrible documentary if you guys just lose at the major and lose at the qualifier. That's no longer a story at all.
No. I don't know. That's actually literally impossible. Literally impossible. Incredibly
I do hope Liquid does well for both your sake and theirs.
Okay. On that note, see you next week. Good luck with the rest of the event, because it will not be done. No. Maybe. When does the event wrap up?
I presume
12th?
it's
Next Sunday. Maybe.
yes, next Sunday. So the next time we talk, we'll probably record on Monday because I have the day off Monday. I don't fly out, so the tournament should be done.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. We'll find out what happens to Nigma. Hopefully, champions of the WePlay Animajor and securing their own spot to TI.
Yeah, right.